12 games back of the Dodgers. And Tony Gwynn checks in, then David Eckstein and Adrian Gonzalez. Tony Gwynn had a very interesting at-bat last night. In the 5th inning, it was a 10-pitch at-bat, and he doubled into the right field corner. Though the young left-hander who had 3 hits last night shows bunt, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. In looking at how he hit last night, his first at-bat, on the 2nd pitch, he singled. In his second at-bat, on his 7th pitch, he singled. Then he had the 10-pitch at-bat and eventually struck out and walked. Strike 1 pitch, a full swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Beautiful evening despite the gray overhead sky, 65 degrees, as Clayton Kershaw trying to chase away the gloom as the Dodgers and Padres will be rolling around Dodger Stadium for the next couple of hours. Strike 2 pitch on the way as a fastball fouled off, though Tony is still there, 0-2. He is doing more than holding his own. Tony Gwynn starts the night hitting .352. So Kershaw into his windup, and the strike 2 pitch on the way, and that's a big overhand curveball down and away. Ball 1, 1-2 the count. So Clayton Kershaw battling Tony Gwynn. Kershaw ready, in his 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball whacked into right field, base hit. So to his father, congratulations. You have produced another solid hitter. And for young Tony Gwynn now, that is his 4th hit in the 2 games. Let's take a look at the Dodgers with the leather, and they shape up with Pierre, Kemp, and Ethier in the outfield. The infield of Blake, Furcal, Hudson, and Loney, and the battery of Kershaw and Martin. So the line drive single to right. Tony Gwynn standing at first base, and the batter now is David Eckstein. Eckstein is completely the reverse of his team. He takes the first pitch for a strike. He is hitting only .189 at home, where the Padres excel, but he's hitting .320 on the road. So that gives him a reasonably happy average at .258, although of course he's looking for more. Kershaw, a look over at Gwynn. High set up around the collarbone, and now Clayton's fastball is whacked into center, base hit. Moving to second and holding is Gwynn. So it's the same old story. I mean, it is deja vu all over again, as Yogi Berra would say. Last night, the first 3 Padres had base hits, Gwynn, Eckstein, and Giles. Tonight, Gwynn and Eckstein repeat, and now the batter is Adrian Gonzalez. First and second, nobody out. Gonzalez moving up into the number 3 slot. Had a tough night last night. Struck out with a couple of men on in the first inning, flied out with a couple of men on in the third. He was walked intentionally and then walked again. So his 0 for 2 was pretty frustrating as Adrian checks in at the plate. 2 on, nobody out. Another player where it is very interesting to compare his slugging difference at home and on the road, and it is far better on the road. Adrian a little late on a high fastball, and the count 0-1. Adrian Gonzalez, as he stands in at the plate, hitting .279, 22 home runs, 43 runs batted in. Might be some problems with the scoreboard. They've been unable to keep up with the hitters, and they have Clayton Kershaw's up there since the start of the game. So here's Adrian waiting. Out of his stretch goes Kershaw. And the next pitch of the left-hand hitter crowds him up and in. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. This year at home, his slugging is .485. On the road is .786. He has always done more destructive work on the road than at home. And right now he has a chance to be destructive. This is the 4th time in the series he's come up with men on base. He holds up on a pitch high and inside, and the count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike. Kershaw has dominated left-handers going into the game. Left-handers 7 for 45 against him. However, Gonzalez has 7 of his 22 home runs against left-hand pitching. The Kershaw checks and delivers way high and inside. Nice save by Russell Martin, and a 3-1 count. So every now and then he shows that he's 21 when Clayton just throws beyond himself instead of pitching, and that's what he exactly did then, trying to get a little something extra on a pitch to Adrian Gonzalez, and almost threw it to the backstop. So 3-1 the count to Adrian, with Gwynn at second, Eckstein at first, and the ball game just getting underway. Adrian leads the majors not only in home runs but also in walks. He has 49 walks. Though the veteran left-hand hitting first baseman waits. 3-1 pitch way high and inside, ball 4, and so just like that the Padres have the bases loaded with nobody out. Kuzminov, Headley, and then Edgar Gonzalez coming up, and Rick Honeycutt up out of the dugout and on his way out to the mound. So the Dodgers started off on a wobbly way last night, allowing 2 runs, and it might have been even more, and rallied back and eventually went on to win. Tremendous contrast in the Dodgers and the Padres. When the Padres are on the road, as we told you, they're 8-20, and the Dodgers at home are 23-8. So the Dodgers pretty much out of sight right now with a sensational record of 40-20. But you know, there was an interesting article in the paper, and I don't want to get into all the numbers, but let's put it this way. You could sum up the whole article by saying a lack of power may derail the Dodgers. And they did a lot of statistical manipulation. But it's interesting to show the major league rank of where the Dodgers are now compared to winners over the last 10 years. And the Dodgers are at the bottom of the heap. I mean bottom, 28, where all the other winners 2, 7, 2 again. So we shall see whether the lack of power works or doesn't work as Kevin Kuzminov backs away, a pitch inside, ball 1. It's also interesting to have that article come out today after the Dodgers hit 4 home runs last night. Here is Kuzminov waiting at the plate, bases loaded, nobody out, and Kershaw's fastball on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 1-1. Several guys have hit grand slam home runs in their first at bat in the big leagues, a couple of them, but no one else but Kevin Kuzminov hit the first pitch for a grand slam home run. So the big right-hand batter checks in at the plate. Kershaw with standing room only out there. Fastball hit slowly to the hole for call. Up with it, off balance throw to first. Too late as Loney came off the bag. The Dodgers will appeal. What Loney did, I think he was his own worst enemy, because as he caught the ball, it looked like he took a swipe. Furcal was going way to his right in the hole, a very tough play, backhanded it, threw on his right leg, and Loney looked like he had it, but his foot came off as he also took a swipe at Kuzminov, and I think the umpire figured, well, the only reason he took a swipe at Kuzminov is because he knew his foot was off the bag. I'm sure that's exactly what happened. So Loney, in that instance, his own worst enemy, and the Padres have a run. The first base umpire, Angel Campos. It will go as an infield single, and everybody moves up 90 feet. Joe Torre having a quiet discussion for the moment with Angel Campos, but quiet can suddenly turn into a fiery storm. But Joe is finished and slowly walking back to the dugout. So the Padres last night, as Loney makes the swipe at Kuzminov, he is way off the bag. Now, whether he actually caught it while his foot was on the bag is doubtful, but when he took the swing at Kuzminov, Angel Campos said there's no reason he would have done that, except he knew he was off the bag. So Kuzminov says thank you, infield single. Runners now, Eckstein at third, Gonzalez at second, Kuzminov at first, and Chase Headley, switch hitting outfielder, batting right-handed, struck out 3 times last night. Kershaw delivers, fastball is blown right by him, and the count 0-1. Kershaw hits 93 on the gun. For Headley, a fine young player, switch hitter, and he has struck out a lot. He has struck out 58 times, And with only 4 home runs, that's too many. Now the strike one pitch. Headley takes in the dirt, blocked nicely by Martin, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count as Headley tries to make it a big inning. He had back-to-back singles by Gwynn and Eckstein, a walk to Adrian Gonzalez, followed by the infield single by Kuzminoff, and the Padres lead 1-0. Headley just starting out in his career, no grand slams, and the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Chase takes high, ball 2. So for Clayton Kershaw, it's the old problem to jump up and bite him. He's made 18 pitches already with nobody out in the first inning. 1-0 San Diego. Padres really hoping to get a win. They're tired of the Dodgers kicking them around. Headley fouls it away. The Dodgers have beaten the Padres 7 out of 9, and the Padres just can't win here. 10 of 11 where the Dodgers have polished them off. So for Bud Black, it's been a black first part of the year. His ball club 4 games under 500, still trying to figure out how to win away from Petco. 2-2 the count to Chase Headley. Batting right-handed, Chase backs out for the moment. So Eckstein, Gonzalez, and Kuzminoff taking their leads, and a 2-2 pitch to Chase Headley. Out of his stretch goes Kershaw. Clayton ready, and here he comes. Fastball hit foul into the chairs down the right field line off first base. So it's still 2-2 to Chase Headley. Headley doing what so many hitters do, kind of turned and said to Jim Reynolds about a strike. Young fella out of Fountain, Colorado, makes his home in Knoxville, Tennessee. Good reason he went to school there. So it's still 2-2. 1-0 Padres first inning. Kershaw ready, and Clayton deals, and a hook is in the dirt. Blocked by Russell Martin, and so Kershaw with that big overhand curveball has now gone 3-2. Last night in watching Chad Billingsley, who made 117 pitches without going 6 complete innings, and he bounced a lot of pitches. Though Russell Martin did a great job last night, and he's trying to keep bailing out Clayton Kershaw as Chad Billingsley looks on. 3-2 pitch on the way. Fastball pop foul behind the plate and carrying back into the stands. Though it's still 3-2. 2 singles, a walk, and an infield single for a run. And Headley up there with Eckstein at third, Adrian Gonzalez at second, and Kevin Kuzminoff at first. Kershaw hands it aside, staring into Martin. Now Clayton is ready, and he's gone as far as he can go with Headley. The 3-2 pitch, a line drive foul. It almost took the head off David Eckstein, and luckily Eckstein is not very tall, and he was able to get down and under that BB. Boy, that thing was going right for him. Eckstein is 5'6", and being a smaller player helped him a great deal. And Casey Blake over to talk to him for a moment. So near and yet so far. It looks like Eckstein was showing Casey Blake his batting gloves. Kind of fancy. Inner lining. 3-2 the count to Chase Headley. 1-0 San Diego. Bases loaded, nobody out. They try to really get the drop on the Dodgers. Waiting on deck, Edgar Gonzalez. Pitch to Headley is swung on and popped up on the infield. Waiting for it is Orlando Hudson. The infield fly rule is called, and so Headley pops it up, 1 away. So Chase Headley gets a whack on the back from Bud Black, and of course that's the big thing to do. Anybody can shake your hand when you've hit a grand slam home run, but when you pop it up, Black pats him on the back, trying for the young player not to get discouraged. That's when a manager is really doing his job. So the batter now is Edgar Gonzalez. At least Edgar tonight gets a chance to play. Last night he sat around in the dugout till the 9th inning, and then they said go get a bat, and he went up there and struck out against Jonathan Broxton. Without a slam, Edgar checks in at the plate. Kershaw's fastball is high, ball 1, 1-0. Edgar Gonzalez followed by the catcher Henry Blanco. Edgar hitting only .211. He does have 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. Kershaw from a stretch, and the 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball foul back. 1-1 to count to Edgar Gonzalez. Adrian is much bigger. Adrian Gonzalez, his brother, waiting for a ride home, is 6'2" and 220 as he stands out there at second base. Edgar Gonzalez is an even 6 and about 180 pounds. Kershaw from a stretch. Edgar Gonzalez waits, and the 1-1 pitch is a little ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Furcal, gives it to Blake, and they get a tag on Gonzalez coming down. Eckstein scores, and the Padres take a 2-0 lead. Furcal had only one play, going deep into the hole to backhand the ball, and the only play he had was to go to Casey Blake, who was waiting for Adrian Gonzalez to slide in. So as Adrian is cut down, his brother Edgar, on the fielder's choice, picks up a run batted in. Eckstein carries it over, and it's 2-0 in favor of San Diego as Henry Blanco, a former Dodger many years ago, checks in at the plate, hitting just .186. Kershaw ready, fastball in for a strike, and the count 0-1. First thing you notice about Henry Blanco, his shoulders. He looks like he has shoulder pads underneath that baseball jersey. He is really blessed with great shoulders. Right hand hitting catcher waiting, and the strike one pitch to Henry. Big curveball in for a strike. Well, first he got the fastball, then the curve, and the count 0-2. Kershaw trying to get out of it cheaply enough against a soon-to-be 38-year-old veteran who was signed by the Dodgers 20 years ago. Strike 2 pitch is instead Kershaw backing off the rubber. Kuzman off at second, Edgar Gonzalez at first. 2 runs in, and the Padres lead 2-0. Kershaw again out of his stretch. You'll look at the runners, and back he comes to Blanco. Very high, ball 1. 1-2 the count. Clayton Kershaw up to his old tricks, and he would love to get over it. He has now made 30 pitches and has given up 2 runs. Last night, Billingsley made 25 pitches, but later in the 5th inning made 35. A 1-2 pitch to Henry Blanco. Fastball fouled away off to the right, out of play. 2 down and 2 in for the Padres. Just like last night, they jumped out to a 2-0 lead on 4 hits. Tonight, 2 runs on 3 hits, and they have Kuzman off at second and Edgar Gonzalez at first. Kershaw hands it aside, trying to get the last out. Henry Blanco waiting at the plate. And the 1-2 pitch on the way is a breaking ball in the dirt on a check swing, no swing. So over to third goes Kuzmanov. Big curveball that will be called a wild pitch. So Kuzmanov moved over. Edgar Gonzalez stayed where he was. So first and third, 2-2 the count. Martin trying to block it. The ball hit the mitt, then came up and hit his mask. And by the time he was able to pick it up, Kuzmanov was over to third. So the deuce is wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 on, 2-0 San Diego. Kershaw ready, and here he comes. Fastball inside. Ball 3. Waiting his turn on deck is the young shortstop, Josh Wilson, who may be the 8th man to come up. He has now reached 33 pitches, and for Clayton, averaging almost 18 pitches an inning, which is far too many. 3-2 pitch. There goes the runner from first. Check swing for strike 3, and that is that. But the Padres get 2 and lead 2, and at the end of half an inning, the Padres 2 and the Dodgers coming up. 4 pitches, pays the price, and gives up 2 runs and 3 hits. Now here come the Dodgers to try and get him back. It'll be Juan Pierre, followed by Orlando Hudson, and then Andre Ethier, James Loney, Casey Blake, and Russell Martin, and then the shortstop, Rafael Furcal, Matt Kemp batting 8th in center, and Clayton Kershaw. So the Dodgers down 2-0 and going up against a veteran right-hander, Kevin Correa, who was born and still lives in San Diego, went to Cal Poly, also Grossmont Junior College. And he was originally drafted by the Cardinals, opted to turn down the draft money and go to school. And then later on, he was drafted by the Giants and signed. That was about 7 years ago. So Kevin Kershaw gives the Padres a 2-0 lead. And now let's see what the Dodgers do against Correa. And Juan Pierre takes a strike. Pierre hitting .352. He has 21 runs batted in. Correa into the windup now. His strike 1 pitch on the way, and that dips in nicely for a strike. And the count 0-2. So Pierre trying to get something started. Correa at 6'3" and 210 looks down the barrel to get a sign. And the strike 2 pitch is fouled away. Bangs off the facade of the second deck right into the hat of a fellow down below. So the hat trick is not only in Detroit versus Pittsburgh, it happens right here on the foul ball. 0-2 the count to Juan Pierre. Into the windup goes Correa, and the next pitch, fastball tapped to short. Wilson in a hurry, can't make the play. Well, Josh Wilson fielded the ball. He didn't get a nice high hop. He had to reach down to get it on the run. Didn't have a grip and wisely elected to hold on to it. And for Juan Pierre, it'll be an infield single. Ball just flipping out of Wilson's hands. He recovered, but had no chance. So with a runner at first, here comes Orlando Hudson with Pierre held on by Adrian Gonzalez. Juan, by the way, has stolen 13 out of 17. Wilson looking at his glove as if it done him wrong. 2-0 Padres, bottom of the first. Hudson hitting left-handed, Correa to the plate, and the fastball a strike, and the count 0-1. Correa first came up to the Giants in 03. Hudson, meanwhile, checking with Larry Boa to see if there might be a play on. Orlando hitting .314, 4 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Correa checking Pierre. He goes. Pitch is fouled off. So Pierre goes head first into the bag, only to get the news that it was a foul ball. So 0-2 the count to Orlando Hudson. Padres 2, Dodgers nothing, bottom of the first inning. Well, Pierre back to the bag, 0-2 the count to Orlando Hudson, and Andre Ethier waiting his turn on deck. Correa at the belt, another look over at Pierre, held on by Gonzalez, and Orlando takes way outside, ball 1. 1-2 the count to the old dog, Orlando Hudson. He had little Orlando with him at the ballpark last night. What a cute little 4-year-old he is. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Correa ready. There goes Pierre. The pitch outside. Blanco's throw on a hop. The tag is late. And Pierre is in there with his 14th stolen base. So Blanco got rid of the ball in a hurry, but it didn't work. Last night, Blanco nailed Ethier trying to steal, but this time Pierre is in there safely. Wilson trying to keep the tag on him, hoping he'd come off the bag. And for Blanco, he did not get a good ball to handle. He had one down and away and made it close. 2-2 pitch on the way, and Hudson fouls it off, and the count stays 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers with 40 victories, one of their fastest starts since coming to Los Angeles in 1958. The 74 club, believe it or not, started out 42-18 and wound up losing in the World Series to Oakland. The 2-2 pitch on the way, and Hudson swing rolls it to first. Adrian Gonzalez to the bag, and Pierre moves over to third. So 1 out, and the one-man gang coming up, Andre Ethier. Ethier wears out Chris Young, and then when you look and see what his work has been against Kevin Correa, he's hitting .583 against Correa. No home runs, but he is 7 for 12. Andre Ethier, since his 8-game hitting streak began June 1, is tops in the majors in multiple offensive categories. Average, home runs, slugging, extra base hits, go-ahead RBIs, you name it. And the pitch now is a line drive base hit into right field. Scoring is Pierre, and the Padre lead is 2-1. So Andre Ethier is now 8 for 13 against Kevin Correa. So Young can't get him out, Correa can't get him out, and the batter now will be James Loney. Ethier last night also had 2 solo home runs. He's had 4 multi-home run games this year. That's better than Albert Pujols and Prince Fielder, just to mention a couple. Chris Young sitting back saying to himself, I know how it feels, Kevin. I know how it feels. And the batter is James Loney. So Ethier, an RBI single to right. Correa at the belt. Kevin ready, right-handed delivers, and it's low to Loney. 1 ball and no strikes. So last night the Padres got 2, and the Dodgers came back with 1. Tonight the Padres get 2, the Dodgers come back with 1, but there's still just 1 out in the inning. Loney hitting .287 and only .182 against Correa, and he drives one down the right field line. Edgar Gonzalez coming to the foul line. It will drop foul untouched. Back into the seats, and it's a 1 ball, 1 strike count to Loney, who was running to first base holding his bat, so he had a pretty good idea. He thought it was going to go foul. James has a long look at Larry Boa. So does Ethier. Last night, Ethier was thrown out trying to steal with Loney at the plate. Adrian, a short lead at first, does not steal a lot. He has stolen 3, but he's been caught twice. So Loney waiting, 1-1 the count. Out of his stretch, Correa turns, fires to first. Ethier wearing the batting helmet, but still going back with his hands to his head. Self-protection. 1 ball and 1 strike to count. Correa leaning on his left leg a little bit, looks in for the sign. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Loney has a look. It's low, ball 2. 2-1 the count. On deck, Casey Blake. For the Dodgers, with their 44 home runs, among the last 5 teams to have the lowest percent of total runs from homers, the Dodgers are the only club with a winning record. Now the 2-1 pitch. There goes Loney. Line drive off the glove of Wilson. Ethier is safe at second, and Loney is safe at first. And Josh Wilson is playing a very jittery shortstop. That could easily have been a double play. But Bud Black, he has just about seen it all. Wilson, remember, started a triple play against the Dodgers. That ball just went right off his glove. Otherwise, he has Ethier for an unassisted double play, but he blows it. And for Wilson, he is really having himself a tough time. Couldn't handle the ball by Pierre. Now misses the double play, and the batter is Casey Blake. No call yet on that sinking line drive, but it sure looked like he should have caught it, especially in the big leagues, and it will be called an error. Pitch in the dirt, blocked by Blanco. 1 ball and no strike. So the Dodgers get a huge break on that sinking line drive off the glove of Josh Wilson. The error charge to the shortstop really extends the inning. So here is Blake hitting .293. Correa ready, over the top fastball, a throw to first, not in time. Loney sliding back. So in the inning, Pierre an infield single when Josh Wilson couldn't come up with the ball. Stole second. With one out, Ethier singled him home. Then Loney hits a sinking line drive that could have been an easy unassisted double play, but it got away from Wilson. So 2 on, 1 out. Clayton Kershaw, who walked off down 2-0, might very well walk back leading. Here's the 1-1 pitch on the way, and Blake hits one to the hole on the right side, smothered by Eckstein to make the play, and the runners move up to second and third. So little David comes up with a clutch play for the second out, and the runners move up. Loney to second, Ethier to third, and Russell Martin coming up. Eckstein just smothering the ball and then getting his man. So when you think of it, the Dodgers have already been given 4 outs, and 2 have been converted. So the Dodgers with yet another golden opportunity against San Diego, and Russell Martin at the plate. Hitting .258. Russell has a look at the strike, and the count 0-1. His dad has been here for the last few days. In fact, his dad is going to Texas, and several fathers of Dodger players will be on the plane to Texas, with Father's Day just around the corner. 0-1 to Russell Martin. Correa delivers off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. So Kevin Correa had an infield single that could have been an out. Got Hudson on a ground ball. Gave up the base hit to Ethier. Loney's ball should have been caught, and he should be in the dugout. Instead, he's got runners at second and third, 2 out in the first inning. And the pitch to Russell Martin, very high. Ball 2, 2-1. Kevin hits 93 on the gun. 2 balls and 1 strike to count. Kevin Correa, victim of a little shaky fielding, trying to get out of the inning. And the 2-1 pitch to Russell Martin is down and away. Ball 3. Sitting quietly in the dugout, watching every play, Russell's father, Russell Sr., and he was talking before the game, what a thrill it is to just sit there and see your son playing in the big leagues. 3-1 the count to young Russell, and Correa ready. Here he comes, and it's a line drive, short hop by Kuzminoff, who throws to first for the last out. So the Dodgers wind up getting 1 on 2 hits and an error, and at the end of an inning, Ethier gets them on the board. It's 2-1 San Diego. Two to 1, and we go to the second. Josh Wilson, Kevin Correa, and then Tony Gwynn. Josh Wilson, when he was with Arizona earlier this year, made an error, and then the next thing you know, he started a triple play. Tonight, he's had a couple of chances, one certainly for an unassisted double play, but he couldn't quite make it. So here he is at the plate, hitting only 161. And he takes high, ball one. 1-0 the count. Wilson out of Pittsburgh and Mount Lebanon, PA. Always dreamt about playing for Pittsburgh, of course. He takes low, ball two. They already had a Wilson at Pittsburgh playing shortstop by the name of Jack. He was originally drafted, however, by the Florida Marlins. Now the 2-0 pitch on the way. Kershaw's very high. So here he is in the second inning after making 34 pitches in the first inning, and he's behind the leadoff hitter 3-0. 2-1 San Diego. We're just starting out. Blake up even with the bag at third. Wilson looks at the 3-0 pitch, and it's in for a strike. Dodgers in their 9th game and the concluding game of the homestand. They've won 5 of the 8. 3-1 pitch on the way. Kershaw very high for ball 4. So Clayton has walked 2, and the batter will be Kevin Correa, coming up in what would certainly appear to be a bunt situation. Correa with the bat has a half a dozen sacrifices, so obviously he can bunt. Right-hand batter checks in at the plate. 2-1 San Diego, trying to set up for another. Tony Gwynn on deck. So Kevin waiting, not showing bunt. Now he does, and the pitch is almost over his head. Ball 1. So for Clayton Kershaw, you could sum it all up in 3 words: trying too hard. 1 ball and no strikes. Clayton a long look in to Russell Martin. Now a check of Wilson. And the 1-0 pitch, Correa pops the bunt back into the screen, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Wilson over at first base. When he was with the Diamondbacks, did not have a stolen base. When he was with the Nationals, he didn't have one. So he hadn't had much of a chance to run. And of course, hitting 8th with the pitcher, you don't usually have the opportunity. The 1-1 pitch, Correa around the bunt, pops it in the air, foul. It will drop untouched. Martin could not get under it. It wasn't high enough. 1-2 the count. Correa popping a fastball up, and of course that's the toughest pitch to get down on the ground, that high fastball. So 1-2 the count to Kevin Correa, who has 3 hits, 1 double, but more importantly has a half a dozen sacrifices. We'll see if he does it again. The fastball bunted foul, and he is struck out. So 1 fastball after another, and Correa unable to get it to the ground, and we have 1 away. Introducing the Junior Dodgers dance team. Dancers 8 to 18 can learn from professionals who have taught for MTV, the NFL, and NBA, and then perform on the field at Dodger Stadium in front of fans, family, and friends. Clinics begin June the 13th. Sign up for more information. Give us a call, 888-341-1765, or visit Dodgers.com/Junior Dodgers. Well, here's young Tony Gwynn. He's had 4 hits and a walk so far in this 2-game series, and he looks at a pitch that misses for ball 1. 1-0. Tony saying before the game he does not dread carrying the name of a great father. In fact, he loves it. Hitting .364. The next pitch to him is off the plate. The Kershaw walk Wilson, strikes out Correa, who is unable to bunt, and now falls behind. 2-0 to Tony Gwynn. No power with Tony. He's a table setter. No home runs, 2 RBIs. Left-hand hitter waiting, and Kershaw out of a stretch. 2-0 pitch on the way. Fastball at the knees for a strike, and the count 2-1. Gwynn backs out now on a 2-1 count to see if there might be a play in the works. Glenn Hoffman going through the motions, sending the message. So we'll see if Bud Black runs Wilson on a 2-1 count. He does not, and the pitch is lifted to left center. Going back on the ball is Matt Kemp to make the catch. Almost to second base. Wilson turns and returns to first.
Second baseman.
Two down in the second inning, and David Eckstein coming up. One thing about the Dodgers and the Padres, it's 2-1 San Diego, but these are two tough teams that you really can't count out in any game. Most wins in the last at bat. The Dodgers have won a dozen in their last at bat. San Diego's not a slouch. The Padres have won 9 in their last at bat. So here's Eckstein, singled and scored a run in the first inning. Kershaw's fastball is low, 1 ball and no strikes. Little David last night had 2 base hits and then came up in the 9th inning against big Jonathan Broxton and singled a left. So he had 3 hits last night, came up with his 4th in the first inning tonight. Next pitch, fastball in there, 1 ball and 1 strike. For Kershaw, the theory is establish the fastball, and that makes the curveball that much more effective. But he's had troubles establishing the fastball. 1-1 the count. Eckstein choking up on the bat. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed 1-2. There are not too many players in this league who really choke up on the bat, but David is one of them. And he backs out to look down at Glenn Hoffman. David, hands working its way up the barrel. 1-2 the count. Kershaw deals curveball, but he misses with it. 2-2 the count. Dodgers and Padres in their 10th meeting of the year. The Dodgers have won 7 out of 9, winning all 5 played here, and they split the 4 in San Diego. Now the 2-2 pitch on the way. Fastball away. Ball 3. In looking at Kershaw's games, most pitches in any start 112. That was in Florida, and he won that game. 3-2, runner goes. Fastball grounded up the middle. Nice pick by Furcal. The throw to first in time. Rafael Furcal takes a base hit away from David Eckstein. They leave Wilson, who walked, and at the end of an inning and a half, Padres 2, Dodgers 1. Followed by Matt Kemp and then Clayton Kershaw. Rafael hitting .244, 2 home runs, 13 runs batted in. Better numbers right than left. And the first pitch, a check swing for a strike, and the count 0-1. Rafael hitting .250 right, .242 left. He has a home run from each side. 0-1 the count. Correa comes back, and it's promptly banged into right field for a base hit. So for call, a leadoff single to right, and the batter will be Matt Kemp. You talk about the Dodgers having an extraordinary lineup. When Casey Blake was hitting 8th, everybody pointed out Casey Blake has 9 home runs and he's hitting 8. But it doesn't make any difference whether it's Casey Blake or Juan Castro or now Matt Kemp. The Dodgers have had incredible success by whoever it is hitting in the number 8 spot in the lineup. The Dodger number 8 spot, supposedly the weakest spot in the lineup. The number 8 spot collectively, .332 batting average. Throw to first for a call back on the bag. Kemp hitting .314, 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in. For call has stolen 4 out of 7. So Kemp waiting, Correa out of his stretch, leading 2-1. The right-hander delivers a little low. 1 ball and no strikes. Correa with a record of 2-4, but he is 0-3 on the road. Chris Young, who started last night, was 0-3 and is now 0-4 away from Petco. Throw to first for call back on the bag. So whether it's mental or otherwise, when they first built Petco Park, the Padre hitters like Phil Nevin in those days complained that the park was too big. Well, psychologically, perhaps it's affected the hitters, but the pitchers are glad to go there. They pitch on the outside corner for a strike, and they certainly don't like to pitch on the road. There's a beach ball loose in right field. 1 ball and 1 strike to count to Matt Kemp. Matt last night had a single to left, a home run, then he was walked intentionally, and finally singled off Kuzminov's glove in the 8th inning. So Matt 3 for 3 last night. Center fielder waiting for call, poised off the bag. Matt fouls it away. 1-2 the count to Matt Kemp with Clayton Kershaw on deck. Kershaw is a lot like the Padre pitchers. At home, his earned run average is 1.5. On the road, it's almost 7. 1-2 to Matt Kemp. Throw to first again for call, scampering back to the bag. Padres 2, Dodgers 1. All the action in the first inning, at least for the moment. Last night, however, the Dodgers scrambled to tie up the game in the second inning and took the lead in the third. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Kemp, and that's low. 2-2 the count. Correa plants the right foot on the rubber. Kevin leans in to read Henry Blanco. For call, hands on his knees as he takes the lead. 2-1 Padres, bottom of the second. Correa ready and comes back, and Kemp hits a high drive into right center. However, Tony Gwynn on the track will make the catch. For call, tag, starts to go, thinks better of it, and the throw was offline. He probably would have made it. So a fly ball to center by Matt Kemp, 1 away. Raphael holding, and the batter will be Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw with the bat has 3 sacrifices, and you would think that the Dodgers would ask him to get the bunt down. Kershaw denied Correa the bunt, and Correa is now trying to deny Kershaw. Kuzminov is in on the grass looking bunt. Gonzalez charging, and the bunt is picked up by the pitcher, and the out recorded to Eckstein. So Kershaw does his job. 1-4. Moving for call to second base. And with 2 out, the batter will be Juan Pierre. Padres 2, Dodgers 1. And we're in the bottom of the second inning with 2 out. Dodgers trying to go 24-8 at home, 41-20 on the road. I mean, they have been out of sight. So Pierre with the infield single, stole second, came home on a base hit. Correa looks in to get a sign. Pierre was hitting over 400 against Correa and probably grounds one sharply to Eckstein. David stays with it to get him, and that's it. No runs, a leadoff single. The Dodgers lead for call. And at the end of 2-1, San Diego. San Diego leading the Dodgers 2-1 as we go to the third inning. Adrian Gonzalez, Kevin Kuzminoff, and then Chase Headley. Dodgers load up the right side of the infield, and Kershaw's fastball is fouled away. Gonzalez last night in this kind of a situation actually tried to bunt once up along third because there's no third baseman. Casey Blake is all alone, far closer to second base than he is to third. Kershaw ready in the strike one pitch. The young left-hander's breaking ball is swung on and missed, and the count goes 0-2. Adrian Gonzalez walked in the first inning, hitting .279. Talking to the plate umpire, Jim Reynolds. 43 runs batted in. Now the strike two pitch on the way. Overhand breaking ball fouled away. In fact, took a lot off that one. That dropped down to 73. Though it's still 0-2. Clayton Kershaw made 34 pitches in the first inning. Cut that down by 15. Made only 19 in the second. They'd like to cut the 19 down now if he can. The strike two pitch to Adrian Gonzalez, very high. Ball 1-2. Dodgers pack their bags, take a hike for the weekend, then go to Texas and Arlington. Pretty warm down there. 2 night games and a Sunday afternoon game. Then they'll come right back and play Oakland. The 1-2 pitch fouled away. Dodgers in a streak of playing the American League. They'll play 3 in Texas, 3 at home with Oakland. Then they'll go to Anaheim. Then they'll go to Chicago to play the White Sox. Then they come home and play Seattle. And then finally get back to the National League on the 29th of June against Colorado. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Adrian Gonzalez. Fastball hit on the ground to Rafael Furcal, and the shortstop, who's in second base territory, throws him out. 1 away. You know, you can join the Dodgers when they face the A's June the 16th through the 18th and park for free. Dodgers offering free general admission parking for all 3 games to thank their fans, honor our community heroes during Heroes Week. Buy tickets online at Dodgers.com or call 866-DODGERS today. 1 away. Kevin Kuzminoff at the plate. Takes very high, ball 1. Kuzminoff had that ground ball in the hole. Furcal had to go way over to his right and in to come up with it. The throw to Loney. Loney took a swipe at Kuzminov. This time he drives one into left center. Kemp going back to watch it bounce over the fence for the ground rule double. So Kuzminov got the infield single, now a double, and the batter will be Chase Headley.
Left fielder, number 7, Chase Headley.
2 runs, 4 hits for the Padres. Last night they had 2 runs on 7 hits. So Kuzminov a leadoff double. Well, not really. Gonzalez made out. So now Headley and Edgar Gonzalez trying to pick him up. Headley popped up with the bases loaded in the first inning. Kershaw ready, fastball, and that's low. Ball 1. 1-0. Chase Headley, the number 1 prospect in the San Diego farm system, hitting just .231. 25 years old. He's made it to the big leagues in 4 years. The 1-0 pitch, Chase takes, and that's low. Ball 2. Headley, an academic All-American in high school. 2 balls and no strikes. Kershaw look back at Kuzminov. Now the pitch to the right-hand batter, and Headley has that one go low. Ball 3. 3-0. Not only was Headley a valedictorian as well as that academic All-American. Chase 6'2", about 230, so he really put together. 3-0 the count. Kershaw deals fastball, cracked bat, little fly ball. Here comes Pierre, but it's going to drop in front of him. Coming to the plate is Kuzminov to score, and the Padres get a 3-1 lead on a cracked bat fly ball into left field. So Headley a base hit and a run batted in. The 3-1 in favor of San Diego. You can hear that bat crack up here like a stalk of celery. Pierre really didn't have much of a play. Tried to make it, and the throw was cut off. So Kuzminov brings it in. Headley takes his lead at first, and the batter is Edgar Gonzalez, who reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. As Kuzminov back in the dugout, and the Padres lead 3-1. Edgar takes a strike outside part of the plate. 0-1 to count. So the brothers Gonzalez starting tonight. Adrian at first, Edgar in right field. Hitting just .208. His big brother in size in the dugout watching. And the strike 1 pitch, fastball just thrown right by him. 0-2 the count. Tough being brothers. People are forever measuring you, and especially if you're in the big leagues. They look at Adrian, they look at Edgar, they look at big Adrian, they look at slender Edgar, they look at the home runs of Adrian and the few base hits for Edgar. He promptly drives this one to left. Pierre running to his right, gloves it, turns and gets it back. So Juan Pierre making a good play on the ball hit by Edgar Gonzalez. And we have 2 down here in the 3rd inning. 3-1 in favor of San Diego. Edgar kind of looked at his brother as he went into the dugout. Not a bad shot. Pierre runs it down. Tony Gwynn comes over to talk to Edgar. And the batter will be Henry Blanco. Blanco struck out in the first inning. So the veteran catcher, who was in there only because Nick Hundley was hit on the wrist last night, and Hundley had to leave. He was hit in the 6th inning and stayed in for a little while and then had to come out, and no way he could play tonight. Kershaw delivers, fastball strike. And if I remember, Hundley was hit by a fastball. It was either 92 or 93. I mean, that would leave a memory. And he's sitting quietly in the dugout eating sunflower seeds and taking in the game. Boy, he got a nasty whack on the wrist. Off-speed pitch is low. 1 ball and 1 strike to Henry Blanco. You had to look quick to see Blanco in a Dodger uniform, but he wore it in 1997 for all of 3 games, and then he was gone. Over at first is Headley with 2 out. The 1-1 pitch on the way is a fastball sliced foul upstairs off first base, and the count 1-2. So the brothers talking now. Adrian is listening. Edgar doing the talking. So tough. So very tough to be Edgar. 1-2 the count to Henry Blanco. Big slow curveball. He just missed. Boy, that was a dandy. It was just up a little bit. The big rainbow curve, hoping for a pot of gold at the end of it, but it just stayed up a little bit. 2-2 the count to Henry Blanco. Now let's see if he follows with the fastball, and he does, and misses low and inside. So 3-2 the count to Henry Blanco. It's 3-1 San Diego. 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error. Dodgers 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, and they were fortunate to get that 1 run. 3-2. So Headley with 2 out, ready to go. The pitch at the plate is low and inside, ball 4. So a double, a single, and now a walk. And the batter will be Josh Wilson, who walked. So 3 walks given up by Clayton Kershaw and Rick Honeycutt, who knows all about being 21 and a left-hand pitcher. Rick filled that exact bill years ago, and he's gone out to talk to Kershaw. Pitch count is starting to pile up. 74 pitches, and he is not out of the 3rd inning. That is far worse than Chad Billingsley last night. Billingsley last night had made 52 pitches at the end of 3, and Chad talking to Randy Wolf. Meanwhile, Clayton up to his hips in pitches at 74. So with 2 down here in the 3rd inning, Josh Wilson, who walked in the 2nd inning, hitting only 161. And that's an amazing comparison. We were talking about the Dodger 8th spot. So here's the Padre 8th spot. The shortstop hitting 161. And the combined 8th spot for the Dodgers hitting 332 with Matt Kemp and Casey Blake and Juan Castro, with Blake and Kemp playing tonight. It's an amazing lineup when the 8th place hitter hits that well. Wilson, who would love to hit that well or anything close to it. Josh hitting 161. Kershaw pulls down the stretch. Now the left-hander delivers, breaking ball, and that missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. So he's gone over the 75 pitch count right now, and he's in the 3rd. At that pace, what, 225 pitches? Doubtful. 1-1 pitch, off speed, and he missed with that one. 2-1 the count. Down in the Dodger bullpen, they're counting pitches, and Big Jeff Weaver gets up and begins to loosen up. 2-1 the count to Josh Wilson. Kershaw ready. And his 2-1 fastball very high, ball 3. So he's struggling. 3-1 the count. Last time out, he allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, and 3 walks in 5 1/3 innings, and took the loss against Philadelphia. He has always pitched well against San Diego. 3-1 pitch is swung on and missed. 3-2. Padres lead 3-1. 3-2 now the count, so the runners will go. That's a break for them with Headley and Blanco ready to run. 3-2 the count. Kershaw ready, and then lobs a throw over to first. Back to the bag easily goes Blanco. So Henry taking a short lead. Out at second base, Headley takes his lead. And with 2 out, 3-2 to Josh Wilson. Runners ready. There they go. Fastball fouled away off to the right, out of play. So Wilson is still up there hacking away. He had a tough first inning when he juggled and lost the ground ball by Pierre. He caught it in the air, but he couldn't throw it. And then had a line drive that might have been a double play, kick off his glove for an error. That would have ended the inning, and the Dodgers would not have scored at all. So now he has a chance to get his club an extra run. 3-2 to Wilson. 2 out. The runners at the ready, and the pitcher Kevin Correa on deck. Clayton a long look in, nods to Russell. Now the 3-2 pitch. Fastball is low. Ball 4. Although I'm sure he's saying to himself, I go 3-2. If I walk Wilson, I walk him, but at least I have the pitcher to use as an escape hatch. Meanwhile, Rick Honeycutt is on the phone. How are things going down there with Jeff Weaver? Kevin Correa tried to bunt, couldn't do it, and struck out in the second inning. Kershaw so intent on looking in that Casey Blake came over and might very well have been whistled to go to the mound just to consume a little time and give Weaver that chance to make a few more tosses in the bullpen. Kershaw looking at Blake as if to say, I know why you're here. So here's Correa with the bases loaded. Clayton delivers. Fastball is low. Ball 1. Boy, you can have such great stuff, but if you can't throw it for strikes, that's like having a Rolls Royce with the brake on. 1 ball and no strikes to Kevin Correa. Martin now might very well have been sent to the mound to talk to young Clayton. Meanwhile, Bob Schaefer talking to Joe Torre in the dugout. So the bases loaded in the inning with 1 out. Kuzminov doubled and Headley cracked his bat. Flair singled to left to drive in Kuzminov. Edgar Gonzalez hit the ball well, but it was run down by Juan Pierre. Then Blanco walked. Now Wilson has walked to load the bases for Clayton Kershaw. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning and his 82nd pitch in the game. And the left-hander's fastball is low. And the Dodgers are very close now to coming up and getting him. In fact, hold everything. Here comes Joe, and he's got a hook. So for Clayton Kershaw, a very frustrating night. 82 pitches in 2 2/3 innings. The old bugaboo, too many pitches. So Kershaw barely able to look at Torre, head down, eyes on the ground, just hands Torre the ball and walks off. 21 and getting a little older. 2 2/3. But of course, remember, although he is losing 3-1, all 3 runners are his responsibility. Even if the next batter walks, because Weaver inherits a 2-0 count. We'll be right back.
Jeff Weaver.
The feelings of young Clayton Kershaw right now. Not only did he make 82 pitches and was as wild as the proverbial hare, he also gave up 5 hits and 3 runs, but can be hurt even more because not only are the 3 runners his responsibility, but the count is 2 balls and no strikes on Kevin Correa. So should Correa walk, that would also be charged to Clayton Kershaw. Jeff Weaver in a tough spot. He has to throw strikes and right away. Jeff 3-1 in his 9 games. Big right-hander set at the bell. Correa waiting, and the pitch to Kevin is in for a strike. 2 out. Padres lead 3-1, and they have a chance to break the game open a bit. They had 7 men come to the plate in the first inning and scored 2. Now the 2-1 pitch on the way. Weaver said, here he comes, and ground foul just outside of third and down the line. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Padres. They've already left 3. Now they have Headley at third, Blanco at second, and Wilson at first. And a 2-2 count to Kevin Correa. Though the deuce is wild again, Weaver straightens up, doesn't have much luxury to miss the zone. Back with a pitch, in there, call strike 3. That's a great job to come out of the bullpen, inherit a 2-0 count, and throw 3 strikes to end the inning. But a run is over, and it's 3-1 San Diego. Brought to you by Jack in the Box. Right now, try the mini Buffalo Ranch chicken sandwiches. 3 mini home-style chicken fillets on toasted mini buns. And by Southwest Airlines. Ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Padres holding on to a 3-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be Orlando Hudson, Andre Ethier, and then James Loney. Hudson grounded to first in the first inning, though Orlando 0 for 1. Kevin Kuzminoff shortens up on the edge of the grass at third. David Eckstein goes the other way. He's out on the grass at second. And the outfield fanned out pretty well with Tony Gwynn deep in center. And here we go, bottom of the 3rd. Correa's first pitch in for a strike. And the count 0-1. Orlando batting .312 with 4 home runs, 34 runs batted in. Correa into the windup and then thinks better of it and backs off the rubber, asking Blanco to go over the signs again. Correa basically fastball, slider, and a change. Kevin into the windup, and the strike one pitch on the way. Fastball up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Last year, Orlando had 41 RBIs for Arizona, and he has 34 already. Admittedly, last year banged up. 1-1 pitch, swung on, ground ball to Adrian Gonzalez. He'll take it to the bag. That's the second time Hudson has hit the ball to him. So 1 away in the third.
Right fielder, number 16.
And the right fielder, Andre Ethier, coming up. Ethier singled to right to drive in Juan Pierre in the first inning. And where Ethier has just killed Chris Young, he has 6 home runs against Young. He's just wearing Correa out, 8 for 13. So his average about 600. This time it's a slow ground ball to Eckstein. David is up with it to get it. So Ethier grounding out, 2 down in the third, and the batter will be James Loney.
James Loney.
Eckstein talking to Adrian Gonzalez. And the batter Loney, who reached on the error. Actually, he hit a sinking line drive almost at the bag at second base. Wilson reached for it and it went off his glove. If he catches it, he would have had an unassisted double play because Ethier was running and was right at the bag. So here's James hitting .286, 2 home runs, 42 runs batted in. And fastball in for a strike, 0-1. Padres 3, Dodgers 1, bottom of the third. Loney waiting. Correa looks down the barrel. He and Blanco trying to get on the same page. Loney had backed out. Now he checks back in. On deck, Casey Blake. Strike 1 pitch on the way, and it's off the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Dodgers have played 61 games, including tonight, and Loney has appeared in all of them. The 1-1 pitch fouled away. Last year, he played in 161 games. So James is certainly putting in his time. Of course, then again, he's only 25 years old and playing first base. Adrian Gonzalez has missed just 1 game for San Diego. Here's the 1-2 pitch to James Loney. Swung on and missed. Down he goes. Down go the Dodgers. 6 in a row now retired by Correa. And at the end of 3-1 San Diego. Who was the only player in Padres history to lead the National League in home runs? We'll give you the answer in a little while. 3 3 runs, 5 hits, 1 error for the Padres, 1 run, 3 hits, and no errors for the Dodgers. Jeff Weaver came in, inherited a 2-ball, no strike count with 2 out and the bases loaded, and struck out the pitcher Kevin Correa. So that kept the game close. And now here comes the leadoff man, Tony Gwynn. Single to right, fly to center, 1 for 2. And hits a fly ball that should wind up in Ephier's glove. 1 away. So Gwynn not hanging around tonight. Last night he had a 10-pitch at bat, an 8-pitch at bat, and a 7-pitch at bat. But he has walked up, swung early in the count, and he is 1 for 3. Now Eckstein, single, grounded to short. Little David 1 for 2. Dodgers shorten up. Blake and Loney even with the bags. Ball 1. One ball and no strikes. On the inside corner, 1-1. That's a ball that Eckstein could hit for a home run. That's the 1 pitch inside. 1-1 to David with that determined look on his face. That's a strike. 1-2. See if he does it again. Watch his mouth. Right now. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Let me at him. Ground ball, foul. Tell you, this is a big man's game. And you really have to admire somebody like a David Eckstein, who is not blessed with a great physique. He's only 5'6". Yet he's out there grinding it day after day, night after night. He's something. 1-2 to Eck. Look at that. And fouled that one on his foot. Eckstein has played in all of the games. Just looking up to see how many he played in last year. After all, stamina is a remarkable part of the game. It was 4 years ago when he was with the St. Louis Cardinals. He played in 158 games. He's played in more than 150 3 times in his career. 1-2. I love that look. That's the ball inside, and it got him again. Nothing funny. The first time he looked like he had a little smile, but not now. And the Padres want to make sure he's okay. He has the heart of a giant. There's that pitch inside, and he fouled it right off his knee. And he let out a holler as he went down. I think in some respects you would rather foul the ball off your instep where there's flesh, but that was right on the bone of the knee. But you have the feeling, if you've watched David play at all, to get him out of the game, they'd have to carry him off the field. There's no way that's going to knock him out. And you can tell the looks of Black and the trainer. They admire Eck. 1-2, the count to Little David. Padres lead 3-1, top of the 4th inning. Slap foul the other way. Padres, like last night, scored 2 in the first inning. Tonight they had singles by Gwynn and Eckstein, a walk to Gonzalez, Kuzminoff an infield single for one. Edgar Gonzalez a fielder's choice for the other. Line drive foul. So it's still 1-2 to David Eckstein. Once upon a time, back in 2002, he hit 8 home runs. And then that was in the American League. So when he came to the National League in 2005, he hit 8 more home runs for the Cardinals. But he'd never come close to that again. Slapped that one back at first. Loney, a nice play. So they get Eckstein. 2 down. Say, you know, you can stay connected with the Dodgers and Dodger fans around the world at Dodgers.com/connect. Become a fan on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Or get inside the Dodgers with their front office blog. Find all these and more at Dodgers.com/connect. Well, I've come a long way to read about Facebook and Twitter and blogs. Here's Adrian Gonzalez, who walked and grounded out 0 for 1. Three to 1, San Diego in the 4th. And a high fly ball, but playable. Ethier and count, and it'll be Ethier. So a 1-2-3 inning for Jeff Weaver, who has restored order by throwing strikes. And at the end of 3.5 innings, 3-1, San Diego. Come up with that one? Well, you've really followed the Padres. If you remember, big left-hand hitting Fred McGriff hit 35 home runs for San Diego back in 1992. 3-1 San Diego. Adrian Gonzalez with 22 home runs. He's hit a bunch for the Padres and leading the league. Meanwhile, the Dodgers, Blake Martin in for call, and a strike to Casey, who grounded out in the first inning. Fly ball to right field, starting in on it, then fading a bit is Edgar Gonzalez. So we have 1 out in the 4th inning, and the batter will be Russell Martin.
Catcher number 55, Russell Martin.
Just adding up quickly, Adrian Gonzalez has hit 102 home runs while with San Diego. 102. 24, then 30, then 36 last year, and 22 so far this year. Martin drilled the ball in the first inning, a sinking line drive. Kevin Kuzminoff made a fine play to short hop and throw him out. Russell hitting .257, 20 runs batted in. Fastball, 0-2. Kevin Correa, 3-1 lifetime against the Dodgers. In fact, the Dodgers have certainly seen a lot of Kevin Correa. 0-2 to Martin. Fouled another good fastball. Kevin has made 20 appearances against the Dodgers. 3-1 lifetime and 2-1 here at Dodger Stadium. 0-2. Check swing foul. Such a big difference between Kevin Correa and Clayton Kershaw. Kershaw, wild, struggling, made 82 pitches in less than 3 innings. Correa made 40 pitches in 3 innings. 11 of 13 first pitch strikes, the secret. Another foul ball. David Eckstein apparently okay, watching him walk around on the grass out there at second base after taking 2 foul balls, one of them off his knee. Oh, 0-2 to Martin. Keeps fouling that fastball back or to the left or the right. Still 0-2. By the way, the note on David Eckstein as he patrols the area at second base. Eckstein is the only regular second baseman in the major leagues without an error this year. Yeah, he's something. Down goes Martin. It's not like Correa is overpowering people. That's only his second strikeout. 2 down. You know, baseball's biggest stars go head-to-head for one spectacular night in the summer's biggest event, as Fox brings you every thrilling moment of this year's MLB All-Star Game. Coverage begins Tuesday, July 14th, live from St. Louis at 5 p.m. only on Fox. Ball 1 to Rafael Furcal. And of course, for Joe Torre, he will be one of the coaches for Charlie Manuel in the All-Star Game. And Joe will go back to the Mound City, as they call St. Louis, the scene of some of his greatest moments. 1-1. So I imagine the good burghers of St. Louis will greet Joe with open arms. He had some remarkable years wearing the bird on the bat on his chest. 1-1. That's in there for a call, running up as if to bunt. 1-2 to Rafael. Single to right field in the second inning. Was sacrificed to second and stayed there. Fouled away. Boy, Furcal is busy in that box, isn't he? Swung, fouled it off, and continued to do a pirouette. He's the one hitter in motion. He'll move up, he'll run up. So many hitters are stationary. They just step right into the divot holes of previous at-bats, but not him. 1-2 to Rafael. 2-2. Padres 3, Dodgers 1. Bottom of the 4th inning. Game at a somewhat leisurely pace. Kevin Correa doing very well so far for the Padres. Two and 2. Just off the plate. Correa, I'm looking at his numbers, is averaging a hair more than 5 innings a start. And he's in the 4th with 2 out. 3-2. Got him. Good. Fastball. Down goes for a call. 3 strikeouts for Correa, picking them all up in the last 2 innings. And at the end of 4, 3-1 San Diego. Headley and then Edgar Gonzalez against Jeff Weaver. Weaver in relief of Clayton Kershaw has retired 4 in a row. Kuzminov is 2 for 2. Single to the hole at short and doubled and scored a run in the 3rd inning. So Jeff Weaver, who spent all of last year in the minor leagues. Fastball strike. Jeff signed a deal with the Dodgers in February of this year and was a long shot to make the ball club, but he did. 0-1. Good fastball. 0-2. Weaver wears number 36, and that number always stands out in mind. It was worn for years in Brooklyn by Big Don Newcomb. No balls, 2 strikes. Fastball fouled away. Kuzminov hitting in the number 4 slot, hitting .231. 5 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Chase Headley on deck. High pop fly to the left side. It will be Casey Blake. And winds up in for Call's glove. The Casey was calling all the way, and it just suddenly moved a little bit. I remember it so well. It all started because of a foul ball off the foot of Don Zimmer. Zimmer tried to continue to play. They cut a hole in Zimmer's shoe so that he could play with the swollen toe, but he just couldn't do it, couldn't cover the ground. So the Dodgers reached down and brought up a fella by the name of Maurice Morning Will. And as Casey Stengel said, he could slide like a snake. Well, Maury was honored Saturday here at Dodger Stadium 50 years ago when he came up in 1959 and led the Dodgers to the pennant and the World's Championship against the Chicago White Sox. Those games that were played in the Coliseum. We called him the mouse that roared, and that's what he was, without a doubt. Here's Headley. Popped up, singled, 1 for 2. Cracked his bat, got a base hit and a run batted in the 3rd inning. 1 away. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Padres, 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers, who have been shut down by Correa through 4 innings. Correa has retired the last 9 in a row. Fouled off. One and 2 to Headley. Edgar Gonzalez waiting on deck. Just missed. Breaking ball. I think Jeffy thought he might have had him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Padres 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. Dodger run in the 1st. Two and 3. Weaver, who was with the Dodgers in 04 and 05. Be 33 in August. And that's banged into the gap. The Headley figures to have an extra base hit. And he'll go into second base as Kemp gets the ball back to the infield. So Headley, a single and a double. And with 1 out, the batter will be Edgar Gonzalez. Headley was struggling hitting right-handed. And looking at his averages now, he was hitting only 181 coming into the game, hitting right-handed. He now has 8 doubles, and Edgar Gonzalez trying to pick him up. You remember Edgar's ground ball fielded in the hole by Furcal, and his only play was to get Edgar's brother Adrian sliding into third. Edgar picked up a run batted in, and it's 3-1 San Diego. One ball and no strikes. Pulled foul outside of third. 1 ball and 1 strike. Edgar kind of pinwheels the bat. It's part of his attitude at the plate. There he goes. Looks like he's ready to take off. And whoops, there goes Headley to third. Martin's throw, he is out at third. So for the 3rd time in 2 games, the Padres have had a man out at third base. Bad play. Martin shoots him down to Casey Blake. Comes right into the tag. So Martin each time has been at the ready, and Headley is burned. 1 and 2 the count to Edgar Gonzalez. 2 and 2. Chase Headley, by the way, was doing well in stealing bases. I don't know about third, but he had stolen 6 out of 7. Two and 2 the count. So Headley volunteers to try and steal third, and of course went to the University of Tennessee, and in going in with his hands apparently hurt himself a little bit. insult to injury. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Edgar Gonzalez. Oh, bad ball. Martin will have to run it down, and that'll be down. So despite the double, it's a 1-2-3 inning on a nice heads-up play by Russell Martin, and at the end of 4 1/2, 3-1 San Diego. Correa has retired 9 in a row since Rafael Furcal singled to right field in the 2nd inning, and with better fielding would be pitching a shutout right now. However, as we said, in his 11 starts, he has averaged just a little more than 5 innings a start, and he goes into the 5th inning now. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Jeff Weaver is out on deck, but Corey Wade warming up in the bullpen, so we'll see. Might depend on what Matt Kemp does. He flied to center in the 2nd inning and promptly pops the first pitch up. Kuzminoff in foul ground. So that didn't take long. 1 pitch and 1 away. So now Weaver will be called away. He went out on deck and then he's summoned back. So Jeff did well. He came in the 3rd inning, and he winds up going 2 1/3 inning. He allowed 1 hit. Jamie Hoffman is coming out of the dugout to bat for him. Weaver managed to strike out 2 and hold San Diego at bay. Jamie Hoffman, as a young player, has the somewhat unfortunate role of being a pinch hitter. It's a difficult job for a veteran, never mind for a youngster. As a pinch hitter, he is 1 for 8, hitting .190 overall. 3-1 in favor of San Diego. That's a strike. That's the thing with Correa. First pitch strike. Earlier, 11 of 13 first pitch strikes. Fastball after fastball, a slicing fly ball. Edgar Gonzalez runs it down. So 2 out in the 5th inning. And Correa is really on a roll now. He's retired 11 in a row. So the San Diego boy, born and bred, pitching a gem. Juan Pierre, infield single, scored the Dodger run, grounded out last time up. 1 for 2. and ball one. Three runs, 6 hits for San Diego. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. On deck, Orlando Hudson. You know, we pointed out the fact that David Eckstein chokes up on the bat, and we said you don't see very many big leaguers choke up. I mean, here's Juan Pierre now. Juan Pierre does not have a home run. Nobody ever thinks of him as hitting a home run. Look where his hands are. And he's made that style pay off. Foul ball. 1-2 the count to Juan. Hitting .353. Two and two. Pierre's numbers are interesting. He doesn't walk a lot, and he doesn't strike out a lot. He has walked 14 times, and he has struck out 15 times, and we're talking about 190 plate appearances. Time. I think most people would agree he is the hardest working ball player they've ever seen. Boy, it took a lot to take that pitch, didn't it? Just inside. Correa's control has been brilliant. 3 strikeouts, no walks. And slapped and backhanded by Josh Wilson. So Pierre losing a base hit to the shortstop. Dodgers go in order. 12 in a row retired by Correa. 3-1 San Diego. Back in 1959 and his great career. On this day in 1975, the Dodgers were playing Montreal, and early in the ball game, Davey Lopes stole second base. Big deal? Well, not in itself, but remember, Davey went on to steal 38 consecutive stolen bases. Never nailed him, never got him, and what an inspiration he was to that 75 club, which bowed finally to the big red machine in Cincinnati. Let's go back to this one. Sixth inning with the Padres leading the Dodgers 3-1. Since Hoffman batted for Weaver, Corey Wade is now called in. So Corey picking up, and he'll be facing the bottom of the San Diego lineup. Henry Blanco, Josh Wilson, and then Kevin Correa. and the bottom of the lineup should be held quiet. Blanco is hitting 183. Josh Wilson is hitting 161. And then you have the pitcher, Kevin Correa. First pitch fouled away. Of course, it also should be pointed out, and it shows you when you can't throw strikes, the problem. You have the weak hitters like Blanco and Wilson, and between them, they've walked 3 times in the game in the first 3 innings. Kershaw walked Blanco, and he walked Wilson twice. Ground ball to Furcal. Winds up. 1 away. So Blanco is retired. Wilson coming up has walked twice. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom half, they'll have Hudson, Ethier, and Loney. Wilson with a couple of walks, which is something indeed when you're hitting 8th and you're batting 161 to get 2 walks. Gosh, no home runs, 3 runs batted in. 0-2. He was with Arizona earlier and started a triple play against the Dodgers. Now over here with the Padres. Oh, 0-2. Ball 1. I would think one of the bitter disappointments for the Padres, as you see somebody like Josh Wilson playing short now, was the inability of Khalil Green to avoid injury and keep playing, because he had so much talent and it just never quite made it. Little ground ball. Orlando is there. So you certainly don't figure to get much trouble from Messrs. Blanco, Wilson, and the pitcher. 2 down. And Kevin Correa coming up. Kevin actually came into the game hitting .231. He has struck out twice, once trying to bunt. And probably hits it foul out of play. Boy, get that thing a long way. 0-1 the count. No balls and 1 strike. He had a pretty good swing at that. Not on that pitch. So he got the breaking ball and looked more like a pitcher. 0-2 the count. 3-1 San Diego. And down he goes. We're looking it up to see if he hit much. Never did. So that'll do it. 1, 2, 3 for Corey Wade. And at the end of 5.5 innings, Padres 3, Dodgers 1. player's action, I believe, convinces the umpire to make the call. So we're going to put our freeze cam on James Loney and watch what he does on the throw to first involving Kevin Kuzminoff. He comes off the bag to make the tag. Now Loney thought that he had been on the bag. The first base umpire, Angel Campos, said no, and I'm sure in Angel's mind, looking at Loney's action, his first thought was, wait a minute, if you were on the bag, why were you trying to tag Kuzminoff? Well, Joe Torre came out and argued that the umpire had his way, and rightfully so. And with that, we go to the bottom of the sixth. 3-1 Padres. Hudson, Ethier, and Loney coming up. Kevin Correa coming off a 9-pitch fifth inning. 15 of 19 first pitch strikes tonight. That's the biggest reason. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Orlando Hudson. 3 runs, 6 hits for the Padres. 1 run, 3 hits for the Dodgers. That's a little high. 2-0 the count to Orlando. Padres and Dodgers closing up a 9-game homestand. Dodgers have won 5 of the previous 8. 2-0 the count. 2-1 to Orlando. Twice has played Pepper with Adrian Gonzalez. Padres 2 in the first, 1 in the third. Dodgers' only run came in the first. 2-1. Off the plate, ball 3. 3-1. Dodgers have beaten the Padres 7 of 9 this year and 10 of the last 11 at Dodger Stadium. Foul back, 3-2. Dodgers heading for not only the road, but the American League. They go to Texas, then they go to Oakland, then they go to Anaheim, then they come back and play Seattle. And then finally get back to the National League against Colorado. 3-2. Off the plate, on the corner, down goes Orlando. 1 away. So Hudson caught looking, and Andre Ethier, who accounted for the only Dodger run, a base hit to right field in the first inning, they cash in Juan Pierre. Ethier, a one-man gang of late, hitting .282. He has 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in. And on deck, James Loney. Correa continues to stay right on the plate. He has not walked anybody. He is now retired 13 in a row. The last Dodger to get aboard for a call singled way back in the second inning. 1-0. And for the rare time, he has fallen behind 2-0 to Ethier. Of course, again, fatigue begins to be his enemy. He's averaged just a little more than 5 innings a start, and he has to push it from here on in. 2-1. Breaking ball over. Ethier, with that 8-game hitting streak, has really just caught fire. Little ground ball to David Eckstein, the only big league second baseman without an error. And we have 2 out here in the 6th inning. And the batter now will be James Loney. So Eckstein grinding it out there at second base. Meanwhile, Loney reached on an error and struck out. Loney hit that low line drive. Got off the glove of Josh Wilson. If Wilson catches it, and he should have, he would have had Ethier coming right down to him for an unassisted double play. James hitting .284, 2 home runs, 42 runs batted in, and Casey Blake on deck. And ball 1. So in this inning, perhaps fatigue, but it's the first time that Correa has been behind to all three hitters. But he's gotten Hudson, he's gotten Ethier, and working on Loney. 1 ball and no strikes. High strike. 1-1. Three to 1 in favor of San Diego. 2 out, bottom of the 6th. 2-1 the count to Loney. It'll be the top of the order for San Diego in the 7th. That means Tony Gwynn, David Eckstein, and Adrian Gonzalez. 2-1 pitch. Hit just foul outside of third down the line. Tim Wilkie right there to give it the call. 2-2 to James Loney, battling Kevin Correa. Dodgers in another tough, low-scoring game, which points up that story we told you about at the very beginning of the game. The Dodgers are questionable despite their great record because of their lack of power. 3-2 the count to James Loney. They have certainly made 44 home runs stand up. They have a record of 40-20. But long way to go. 3-2. Little roller wide of first. Up with it as Gonzalez feeds Correa, and that'll do it for the 6th. 1-2-3. And at the end of 6, 3-1. San Diego. Meanwhile, in the dugout, Bud Black, who is quite a pitcher in his own right, talking to Kevin Correa, who has turned in a marvelous job. He has made only 81 pitches through 6 innings. Young Clayton Kershaw made 82 pitches in 2 2/3 innings, so quite a contrast. So into the 7th we go, and it'll be Tony Gwynn. Single, fly to center, fly to right, 1 for 3. Strike. "15 in a row retired by Kevin Correa." 1-1. The last Dodger base runner, Rafael Furcal, leading off the 2nd inning. 1-1. That's a strike. Dodgers leave and go to Texas. Texas 18-11 at home, and they lead the Angels by 3. And down goes Tony Gwynn. So Corey Wade has retired 4 in a row, and the batter will be David Eckstein. Eckstein single to center, grounded to short, grounded to first. Took 2 off, 1 off the foot, 1 off the knee in his last at bat. That's a strike. Looking ahead, when the Dodgers hit in the bottom of the 7th, Blake, Martin, and Furcal. 3-1 Padres. Foul back. 0-2 to David Eckstein with Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Little ground ball to Hudson. The 1 second baseman takes care of the other. And we have 2 down in the 7th inning. For the Padres, they've had 1 hit since the 3rd inning. That was the double by Headley, who was then thrown out trying to steal 3rd. Greg Burke begins to throw in the San Diego bullpen when Bud Black was talking to Kevin Correa. He might very well have talked about the fact maybe you've gone far enough. We'll see. One ball and no strikes. Adrian has walked, grounded to short, fly to right. Last night he was 0 for 2. So 0 for 4 in the series. That's a strike. 1-1. I'm sure part of the problem for Adrian Gonzalez, the fact he feels he has to do so much to keep the Padres in the game. Last year he hit 279. He's hitting 276 right now. Last year 36 home runs and 119 runs batted in. He had 13 more home runs than any other player. He had 35 more RBIs than any other player, and he has dominated the club this year. He has 23 home runs. The second man has 8. He has 43 runs batted in. The second man has 27. So he's it. And popped up. Casey Blake all alone on the left side. That'll be that. So the Padres go quietly. The last 7 in a row have been retired. The crowd asked to stand now and join in the singing of God Bless America.
Tonight we welcome an accomplished studio vocalist. Her vocals have been featured on numerous national advertising campaigns. Please welcome Los Angeles native and lifelong Dodger fan Julie Chen. Accompanying Julie is Nancy B. on the Dodger Stadium organ.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.
AT&T Rapid Rewind. AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered. 3-1 San Diego. A little while ago, we showed you Bud Black talking to Kevin Correa, and you can understand it had to be a tough move. Correa retired the last 15 in a row, but they bring in Greg Burke, and it's ball one to Casey Blake. Greg Burke is out of Belmar, New Jersey, signed by the Padres as a free agent in 2006. He was undrafted. He was in the Independent League, and he had elbow reconstruction surgery. He's behind 2-0. Right-hand batters against Burke, hitting 111. They're just 2 for 18 against him. He's 6'4", 205-pounder, and he'll be 27 the end of September. He has a degree from Duke University in sociology and a minor in business. 2-0. Right. Casey Blake grounded out, fly to right. The last Dodger hit for Call singled, leading off the second inning. 2-1. Good fastball. 2-2. For Burke, basically a fastball slider pitcher. He added a splitter, which he throws as an out pitch to left-hand batters. 2-2. Greg Burke. Fouled away. That carries upstairs and then winds up down below. 2-2 to Casey. Hitting .290. 9 home runs, 35 runs batted in. One of the things that really helped Greg Burke off season, lifting like a bodybuilder, and it picked up velocity. Before he did all the works in the gym, he was hitting 88. Now he's picked up at least 5 more miles an hour. In fact, he just hit 93 with a fastball. So 3-2. Fastball whacked to left field. That's in there. Chasing the ball to the bullpen gate is Headley, and into second base with a stand-up double goes Casey Blake. So after Kevin Correa had retired 15 in a row, they bring in Greg Burke, and Casey promptly doubles, pitch right out over the plate. Kevin Correa allowed 1 run and 3 hits in 6 innings, retired the last 15 in a row, and now the Dodgers trying to go after young Greg Burke. He's pitched at Lake Elsinore and San Antonio before coming up to the Padres. He was also at Portland. One ball and no strikes to Russell Martin. Hit the ball hard. Kuzminoff made a good play to get him in the first inning, and Russell struck out in the 4th. Kevin Correa not only retired 15 in a row, he went 6 and did not walk a batter. So for Bud Black, all he can do is be thankful that Correa did what he did, because as we pointed out, Correa was averaging a hair more than 5, and to ask him to go beyond 6 was asking too much, obviously. 2-0 the count to Russell Martin. 2-1. Padre rookie pitchers have done a very good job so far this year. San Diego Padre rookie pitchers have struck out 98 so far. Blake at second, nobody out. 7th inning, 3-1 Padres. And ball 3. Big pitch now for Greg Burke. Otherwise, Martin, the tying run, will get aboard. 3-1. On deck, Rafael for call. And he walked him. So he came in with great credentials against right-hand batters, and he has proceeded to give up a double and a walk. And with nobody out, Bacall will turn around to bat left-handed. Darren Balsley, the Padre pitching coach, will try to help young Greg out. Bacall has singled to right and struck out. And on deck, Matt Kemp. Greg Burke has been in 10 previous games. Earned run average a great 1.6. So Rafael will be coming up. Singled and struck out. Both those at bats were against Kevin Correa. Mike Adams, whom we saw last night briefly, gets up and begins to throw in the San Diego bullpen. And Burke trying to turn himself around a little bit. He is not allowed a run in 10 of his 12 previous appearances. And he usually has gotten the leadoff hitter, and he's failed to do that tonight. He retired the first batter faced in each of his 12 appearances, but tonight Blake doubled to lead off the inning. Tying runs aboard, nobody out. And ball 1. So he's the opposite of Correa. Correa was throwing strikes, and especially 15 of 19 first pitch strikes. Padres 3 runs, 6 hits. Dodgers 1 run, 4 hits. But a chance to come back now against young Greg Burke. That's a strike. 1-1. Joe Torre, Bob Schaefer, Larry Boa, all intent watching Burke. Blake at second, Martin at first, nobody out. Rafael hitting .246. And hit foul down the left field line. Still 1-2. Rafael pretty consistent, hitting close to .250 from each side of the plate. One and two the count. Got him. Kind of a late call. Perhaps Jim Reynolds vocally punched him out, and then with that right arm. So Burke gets a big strikeout against a left-hand hitter. So Bacall walks away, and the batter is Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp flied to center and fouled out to third. Both at bats were against Kevin Correa. So Matt hitting .311, 7 home runs, 33 runs batted in, and Mark Loretta comes out on deck. Ball one. So Greg is not getting that first pitch for a strike, and Henry Blanco is going to go out and talk to him. And David Eckstein once in. Of course, if you're any infielder, you'd like to know the pitch. You know how to play the hitter a lot better if you know it's breaking ball or fastball. So Eckstein wanted to make sure he is shading Kemp up the middle. At the same time trying to take a step or two away from Casey Blake. 1 ball and no strikes. One out. Blake and Martin out on the lines. Oh, and 1. Going after that one to balance the books. 1 ball and 1 strike. Blake and Martin, the possible tying runs. Two and 1. Burke made his big league debut middle of May against Cincinnati and pitched a perfect 7th inning. When he was at Portland, he was overwhelming. The opposition was hitting 148 against him. But of course, he comes to the big leagues. It's a different story. 2 and 1 the count. Fouled at the plate. 2 and 2 the count. Dodgers got a run way back in the first inning, only because of the fact that Josh Wilson couldn't handle the ball. Otherwise, they'd have been shut out to this moment. Juan Pierre anxious to get back in, but he's got Loretta in front of him. Andre Ethier tonight drove in the only Dodger run in the first inning. 2 and 2. Big breaking ball. 3 and 2. That slider had some swing on it. Three and 2 with 1 out. Mark Loretta waiting on deck. Runners go on strike 3. Throw down, and they double up Blake. Boy, that's a surprise to run the runners with Matt Kemp. Matt Kemp has now struck out 58 times, and that was really a shock, which is probably why they did it. And it's Padres 3, Dodgers 1. Dodger defense stymied by the San Diego Padres. And on this play, as Kemp strikes out, Kuzminoff is there to tag out Casey Blake. It reminds me of a game where the Dodgers brought in a pitcher. This is a true story. I don't want to mention the pitcher's name. Bases loaded, 2 out. A fellow named George Crowe was a great hitter up there for Cincinnati as a pinch hitter. The Dodger pitcher threw a pitch, and Crowe hit it 107 miles foul. And the catcher went out and said to him, "Stanley, what was that pitch?" And the pitcher said, "It's my screwball." And the catcher said, "Stanley, you don't have a screwball." And the pitcher said, "I know, I figured he wouldn't be looking for it." I never forgot that. And in watching the Dodgers run with Matt Kemp, I figured Joe thought, well, the Padres won't be looking for it. Meanwhile, a strike to Kevin Kuzminoff as Ronald Belisario takes over on the mound, the 4th Dodger pitcher. Boy, he's been wonderful with an ERA of 2.5. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kuzminoff singled to short, doubled and scored a run, and popped up. Belisario's the workhorse in his 31st game. 1-2 the count. For Ronald, this inning would give him 36. Troncoso has 37 innings. Way back on April the 30th, Belisario picked up his first major league victory, and it was against San Diego. He also made his major league debut in San Diego on April the 6th. 1-2 the count to Kevin Kuzminoff. Good fastball hit to for call. 1 away. You know, friends, you can experience Dodger Stadium like never before with a ticket to the Baseline Box Club. You get VIP access to the Baseline clubs, pull up a cushioned seat, enjoy the extra leg room, watch the action from seats so close. They used to be part of the field, remember. So learn more at Dodgers.com/premium or call 323-224-1320. Chase Headley popped up with the bases loaded, singled to left to drive in a run, doubled, and then tried to steal third and was nailed. One and one the count. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th inning, they'll have a hitter for Belisario, then Pierre and Hudson. One and one. Beach ball loose in right center. They haven't spotted it yet, but it's out there. Now, I think somebody in the Dodger dugout hollered out to Jim Reynolds about the beach ball, so they have to retrieve it. The paid attendance tonight for this final game on the homestand, 44,079. 44,079. Two and one to Chase Headley. 3-1. Belisario, a little better than 2-1 strikeouts to walks. Oh, that was way inside. So the 1-out walk to Headley, that means he reaches base 3 times tonight. And Edgar Gonzalez coming up. Padres have had 1 hit since Headley singled in the 3rd inning, and that was Headley who doubled and was out trying to steal. So they've stopped after scoring 2 in the first and 1 in the third. Edgar Gonzalez reached on a fielder's choice. That's when Furcall threw to Blake, and they got Adrian Gonzalez sliding into third, but a run scored. Then Edgar hit the ball very hard in the third inning, and Juan Pierre made a good running catch. Last time up he struck out, and this time he goes down. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to Edgar Gonzalez. That thing just kept coming in on him. It was almost the kind of pitch that nailed Nick Hundley last night. Just kept moving in on the hitter. 1-0 to Edgar. Checking with Glenn Hoffman with Headley at first, 1 out in the 8th. 3-1 in favor of the Padres. Mujica and Gear throwing in the pen for San Diego. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Edgar Gonzalez. Edgar, in less than 100 plate appearances, maybe 85, has struck out 18 times. That's a strike. 1-2. One and two to Edgar Gonzalez. We'll watch Headley. And that's beaten foul into the dirt. Belisario figures to lead off in the 8th inning. We've already seen Mark Loretta get in the on-deck circle. Brent Leach begins to loosen up in the Dodger bullpen. Leach worked briefly last night. How briefly? He made 1 pitch. 1-2 to Edgar. And ground ball to Furcall. He'll be on the bag for 1. Double to the first. And that's the top of the 8th. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Here they come. A hitter for Belisario, Pierre, and Hudson. 3-1 San Diego. By 76, where 4 fill-ups scores you 2 free Dodger tickets. Complete rules available at participating 76 stations. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-1 San Diego. Will Venable comes in along with Edward Mojica and put Venable batting 9th in the pitcher spot. That means he bats 3rd in the 9th inning. Mojica will go in Edgar Gonzalez's spot. Edward Mojica is from Venezuela, signed by the Indians 8 years ago, and the first Dodger to face him will be Blake DeWitt. Mojica up 3 times with the Indians. Made his major league debut in June of 2006. Foul back, 0-1 the count to Blake. DeWitt called up from Albuquerque when Eric Milton went on the DL. Bottom of the 8th, 3-1 San Diego. 1 ball and 1 strike. Probably an interesting thing about Mojica, he was called up to the Indians to make his major league debut. In 24 appearances in the minor leagues, his earned run average was 0. And that was near the end of June. Padres sent a player to be named later to Cleveland to acquire Mojica. He's only 25. And he's behind 3-1 to DeWitt. Mojica is 6'2", checks in at about 220. Fastball, slider. He also added a splitter and a changeup. That's a strike. With the Indians last year, left-hand hitters hit .277 against him, and right-hand hitters hit .318, which I guess is another reason why he's with San Diego. 3-2. So Edward Mojica, M-U-J-I-C-A. Dodgers used Hoffman earlier. He flied to right. 3-2. Foul back. Down in the Dodger bullpen, Ramon Troncoso begins to loosen up. Dodgers scored a run in the first inning, a scratchy run to say the least, and that's all they have. So they're down 3-1 here in the 8th. And ball 4. So the bullpen, after a brilliant 6 innings by Correa, where he finished up retiring 15 in a row, Greg Burke came in, and the leadoff man, Casey Burke, doubled. Now Mojica comes in, and the leadoff man walks. And now Pierre and Hudson coming up. Juan Pierre, infield single, scored the only Dodger run, grounded out and lined out since. The 1-1-4-3. And a strike. 0-1. Dodgers head for Texas tomorrow. Weekend in Texas, then home here to play Oakland, then out to Anaheim and Chicago against the White Sox. That's a strike. 0-2 to 1. Padres 3, Dodgers 1, bottom of the 8th. Fouled off. 44,079 here at Dodger Stadium tonight. push against shove, tough ball game. Last night was a tough game. Dodgers managed to win by 2. Dodger record in 1-run games here is remarkable. They're 11-1. 0-2 to Juan Pierre. Chopper foul. Pierre hitting .351 with 21 runs batted in. Pierre got his infield single tonight, which means he sits safely in 30 of his 37 starts this year. Poke foul. Just did get a little bit of that. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. During the time that Juan Pierre has played left field in the last 31 games, the Dodgers are 19-12. The count at Pierre with DeWitt at first, nobody out. And that gets away at the plate. It didn't hit him, and down to second base goes DeWitt. So we'll assume wild pitch, and Mojica, like Greg Burke, a very shaky beginning in relief. Well, it looked like Blanco might very well have caught that. He tried to backhand it, and it got away. They never did hear of you keeping score, whether it's pass ball or wild pitch, and they say wild pitch. Fastball hit in the air to Headley. They'll do it at second base as Pierre flies to left. So 1 out, and Orlando Hudson the batter.
Second baseman, Orlando Hudson.
Hudson twice grounded to Adrian Gonzalez, and then the last time up struck out. Orlando, as you know, switches, hitting .328 right-handed. Ground ball to Josh Wilson. That's 2 down, and DeWitt moves over to third. And the batter is Andre Ethier. They knocked in the only Dodger run in the first inning. So we'll see how important that wild pitch is. If DeWitt is standing at first, that's a perfect double play for Josh Wilson. Instead, the wild pitch moved DeWitt out of harm's way. Now he's at third, and we'll see if Ethier can pick him up. Andre 1 for 3, hitting .280 with 11 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and a 9-game hitting streak. Right. Dodgers really struggling with runners in scoring position. They are 1 for 9, and they have DeWitt 90 feet away with 2 out. Fastball hit in the air down the left field line, slicing away from Headley, and will wind up untouched in foul ground. So 0-2 the count to Andre Ethier. Kevin Correa for 6 brilliant innings. Greg Burke a shaky 7th. Edward Mojica now trying to get out of the 8th inning with a runner at third. James Loney on deck. 0-2 to Andre Ethier. And that will do it. The Dodgers are 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And at the end of 8, Padres 3, Dodgers 1. In the first inning, Dodgers came back with 1. San Diego picked up another run in the third inning, and that's it. It's 3-1 Padres. It'll be Henry Blanco, Josh Wilson, and the pitcher spot against Ramon Troncoso. He's had 10 consecutive scoreless innings, and he's pitched scoreless 21 of his 23 assignments. Ball 1. Joe Torre saying when it comes to the 8th inning, Troncoso's his man. Only tonight they have him pitching in the 9th instead of Broxton with the club down by 2. Blanco has struck out, walked, grounded out. 2-0 the count to the veteran catcher. And popped up on the infield. Who will it be? Hudson, I believe. Yep. 1 away. To look ahead when the Dodgers come up in the 9th inning. They'll have James Loney, Casey Blake, and Russell Martin. Casey Blake has a double. Martin is 0 for 2 with a walk. Loney is 0 for 3. Josh Wilson has walked twice, grounded out, hitting a little more than $1.50. Ball 1. Heath Bell throwing in the bullpen. Will Venable batting 9th. And Bell getting ready. Heath Bell, by the way, has 17 saves. Padres have only won 27 games. 1-2 right into the Dodger dugout. Breaking ball hit off the end of the stick, and that'll do it for Wilson. So the Padres' last hit was Headley's double in the 5th inning, and he was out trying to steal 3rd. And with 2 down, top of the 9th, Black trying to hold on to a 3-1 lead, and he has his man Bell in the pen, and he has Will Venable, the right fielder, batting 9th in that double switch. Venable's dad, Max, had a long career in the big leagues. 0-1 the count to Will Venable. Venable just called up, only has 15 at-bats. Big, slow breaking ball, 0-2. Venable was brought up from Portland on the 3rd, so he's only been here a few days. And a high fly ball down the right field line, going into the corner, foul and out of play. So Will comes back to try it again. No balls, 2 strikes. His father, Max Venable, played for the Giants, the Expos, and the Reds. His dad is a coach in the Reds organization. Will is 26. He'll be 27 in October. Lives over in Phoenix. Holds up. They check. Swings, says Tim Welke. So that will do it for Venable and for the Padres in the 9th inning. However, at the end of 8 1/2, the Dodgers will have Loney, Blake, and Martin down 3-1. Dodger run came in the 1st inning, and they've not been heard from offensively since. At one stage, Kevin Correa retired 15 in a row. The Dodgers then in the 7th inning had Blake's double, but they left him. And now the ace of the bullpen, Heath Bell, coming in. Heath, born in Oceanside, lives in Tustin. Big man who lost about 25 pounds. And that'll certainly pay off for him. Heath's dad, a United States Marine. And Bell is one of those guys who didn't make his high school varsity baseball team until senior year. So he didn't have any college scholarships at all. And when the Mets finally agreed to sign him in this day and age of multi-million-dollar deals, Heath Bell got $500 to sign the Mets contract. And he has blossomed into quite a reliever, and this year he has saved 17, and his earned run average is 1.4. One reason his strikeouts to walk ratio is better than 3-1. And Heath now a big side, getting rid of a little of the adrenaline rush, and he'll work on Loney. James reached on an error, struck out and grounded out, 0 for 3. And ball 1. For Heath Bell and James Loney. Loney is 0 for 4 against him in the past. Bell has been dynamite against right-hand batters. Fastball off the plate. 2-0. So Burt fell behind early to the first batter, and Blake doubled. Mojica fell behind to the first batter, and he walked. So let's see here, 2-0 to Loney with Bell. And he's behind 3-0. A dangerous way to relieve, especially in a low-scoring game. And for Bud Black, it's tough to just stand there and watch. Heath Bell had a changeup where he split his fingers. He kept splitting them until he finally had himself a splitter. He also has the slider and the fastball. There's the fastball, and the count 3-1. Bell leading the major leagues with his 17 saves. 17 saves in 18 opportunities. 3-1. Another fastball, another strike. 3-2. The opposition has scored 3 times in 25 outings against Bell. And he's 9 for 9 in saves at home. And that's probably smoked into left center. Headley over to pick it up. Loney leads off with a single. So the relievers are doing it a very shaky way. Blake doubled against Burke. DeWitt walked against Mojica. And now Loney singled against Bell. We mentioned how tough he has been against right-hand batters. Right-hand batters are hitting .048 against Heath Bell. That's 2 for 48. Ball 1. Left-handers were hitting .292, and then Loney comes up and gets a hit. So the numbers really holding up upon inspection. Blake 0 for 1 against Bell in the past. That's a strike. Juan Pierre's 5 for 10 against him. The call is 3 for 8. One ball and 1 strike. Fastball 1-2. Heath Bell, 31 years old. He'll be 32 the end of September. Been a pro since 1998. One and 2. Foul back. 44,079 to see the final game of this 9-game homestand. Dodgers have won 5 of the previous 8 and would like to tie a ribbon on the package and finish up with a win against San Diego. But the Padres, who have been blanked here, the Dodgers have beaten the Padres 5 straight at Dodger Stadium and 10 of the last 11. Trying to come back and beat the Dodgers one time. Fastball, a one-hopper to Wilson. The quick feed. Eckstein turns it. And just like that, 2 down. And another right-hand batter bites the dust against Heath Bell. Right-hand batters are 2 for 49 against him. And another right-hand hitter, Russell Martin, coming up. Martin, a hard out, drilled one, and Kevin Kuzminoff made a good play in the first inning. Russell struck out in the 4th and walked against Burke in the 7th. Foul ball down the line, 0-1. On deck, Rafael Furcal. The one Dodger with a home run against Heath Bell in the past would be Matt Kemp. But with 2 out, somebody has to extend the inning to get to Matt. 0-1 to Russell, batting .255. The only Dodger run A very scratchy run in the first inning. A little better play by shortstop Josh Wilson, and the Dodgers would not have scored. But Ethier singled sharply to right to cash in Pierre. And that's been it. Dodgers, since that first inning, have gotten 3 men to second, 1 man to third. One and 2 to Russell Martin. This is the 10th meeting between the Dodgers and Padres. Dodgers have won 7 of 9. Juan Pierre scored the only run way back in the first inning. Fastball hit down the line. Venable coming over to sort of do it. Will makes the catch, and so Heath Bell comes in, shuts the Dodgers down in the 9th inning, and records his 18th save. And for the Padres, they salvage one here. It's the first time that the Dodgers have lost to the Padres at Dodger Stadium.